All right, well, we're in San Antonio, short trip from Austin with my man JD Beltran. What's going on, man?
What's up, man?
You good?
Oh yeah.
So what do you have in there to show us?
I have a few New Balance, some Asics, just a lot of runners really, a lot of Air Max, not a lot of basketball. I have one basketball shoe and one Jordan, so I mean if that's not your kind of thing then I'm sorry, but I think it's pretty cool stuff.
And I call you Mr. Eminiem yourself.
I don't know about that.
Why not?
It's not complete yet.
Okay, well they'll have to see it. Let's check it out.
Let's go. So this is pretty much where I have all my shoes. It's in a closet in my bathroom, which is, I know, not the fanciest place to have them, but I guess to start out, I definitely want to show these, my infrared 90s from 2010. This is really beat up pair, but it doesn't always have to be brand new to look good or to be beautiful. I've been through a lot in this shoe and I don't care how dirty it gets, I'm not cleaning it. Other stuff that I really like Puma suedes. I only have 2 pairs, but this is like, they get worn almost every day. Other than that, I have a lot of, not a lot, but I have a few vintage pairs that I want to show. This is a 96 Air Max 1 Jewel. It's in like perfect shape, but if I were to wear it, this was all gonna blow out. And I'm pretty sure if I sneeze on it or look at it wrong, it'll blow up. So this is one of my favorite shoes of all time, and it's not wearable, but I wanted to buy it anyway. The Ubiquitous Max. And I believe Josh Childress showed these in his video and he said the same thing, but I bought these brand new and the bubble is completely gone, as you can see, but love this shoe. Getting into another one, I like the Talaria is one of my favorite shoes. I have the men's and the women's color. I have 3 pairs of these in different colors that I found at a thrift store. I'm not gonna pull them all out, but I bought them all for like $8 to $10 a piece. Getting into some more recent stuff. Everybody likes the Slam Jam Gel Light 3. Well, this is the first prototype sample of the Slam Jam. There's, I think, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 of these in the world. I've only seen one other person with them and his look brand new. Mine do not. This one is an A-Life Gel Light 3 that I was told is a 1 of 1. I'm not sure how accurate that may be, but it has A-Life and all sorts of stuff embossed on the tongue. It's kind of hard to see, but the materials are cool. This is a really comfortable shoe to wear. One of my favorite stores that does collaborations is 24 Calades out of Barcelona, and this is their Gel Light Speed that they did, since everybody likes Gel Light Speeds now. If you can see the inside, that's actually a sample. There's absolutely no difference between this and the one that released, but this one is also a Gel Light Speed that they did, and that's a completely different color. Also a sample tag on the inside, and I have all these like things that came attached on it. Also, you're gonna notice all my boxes are pretty much replacement boxes because a lot of the stuff I have didn't have an original box. Next, we get into probably one of my favorite collaborations ever. Crooked Tongues and New Balance did a pack of 4 called the Confederation of Villainy. They did a 1500, a 577, a 575, and a 991, which is right there. These were all limited to 99, and the artwork on the box was done by tattoo artist BJ Betts. But this is my favorite of the pack, the 1500, the Blackbeard. I love this shoe. UK made 1500s are awesome. The newer shape is not my favorite, so I haven't bought a lot of them, but it's definitely a good looking shoe.
So JD, I'm seeing a lot of variety in here, but also some exclusivity. So which one is more important to you?
I like to have stuff that nobody else has, or that I'm not gonna run into a lot. I don't really take into consideration like, oh, it's just that limited, so I want it. I like the shoe. I keep consistent with the stuff I like. I have a lot of 1500s. I have a lot of stuff that Soulbox did. It's mostly comfort now. I had a lot of dunks, like I had Floms, Iron Maidens, the City Series, but a lot of that stuff, I play soccer, so my knees are really, really bad now, and it's a lot more comfortable to to wear runners.
You had all the dunks when we were supposed to do it like a year and a half ago?
Yeah, I got rid of those slowly to get into some other stuff over here that we'll get to at some point. But getting back into that same pack, here's the 575. We'll get into some Nike so that people don't fall asleep. Here's the Soulcollector 180. I know Greg Street, I think, showed these. This is my size that I wear, number 40 of 140. But the cool thing about this shoe is that I also have a size 6. I love size 6 shoes because I think they look the best when they're in a tiny size like that. But I have a size 6 of these also, which if you look at the back is number 1 of 140. More 180s. Have the Dizzy Rascal Friends and Family 180. I know Greg Street showed these as well. But something Greg Street did not show is the white one. that they made for him. I don't know the exact numbers on these. I just know they never released to the public, and there's not very many of them. So I'm pretty proud of those. And I mean, I don't usually care about how many were made, but I feel like to a lot of people that might not know what this is, you'll understand a little better if I tell you the numbers. Next, we have another 180 that's kind of unknown for the most part. There's not a lot online about it, but it's a collaboration with a store in New York called Nom de Guerre. And I believe there was 50 of these made. It was like an ID kind of thing that they made specially for the shop, and then the laces have the Nom de Guerre all over them. The only problem I'm having with a lot of these older 180s is that they're starting to fall apart on me. But I got my buddy Jake from Dank Customs to fix that. I have 2 bespokes. This one I designed in 2011. I made it after like myself and incorporated elements that represent the rest of my family. At some point I still want to make a bespoke for like my mom, my dad, and my brother. So I've yet to get a chance to do that, but that's at some point all coming.
Explain the design.
To get kind of sad here for a minute, whenever I designed these, I was going through a lot of depression issues, so that's why the colors are a lot darker. A lot of the brighter colors is because whenever I went to New York, I was with my family, so that was all brighter stuff that happened in my life. I have my initials, which are the same initials as my dad and my brother on there. Yellow, because I used to have a Livestrong bracelet on all the time. I had an aunt that died of breast cancer the same year. Purple, because my favorite color is purple, and I like purple on anything. The infrared and the laser blue is because my mom likes the infrared 90s and the laser blue. Those were some of her favorite shoes that I had, and she likes the Year of the Rabbit Air Force One that's down here somewhere that has like the alternating swooshes, so I did that as well. And my brother's always been really into animals, so I had the zebra put on there for him. And speaking of animals, my second bespoke was this one that I made to look after my dog, Chub. He's a pug. He's been with me through everything. There he is if you want to show him. But yeah, they let me do like the embroidery on the tongue for his collar that has like stars and stuff like that on it, and then his name on the back of it, which is kind of cool. Some of the other stuff that I have in a size 6 that's kind of cool, like Ludacris, except I'm not a recording artist. I have a size 6 in the BET Hip Hop Awards Air Force One. Also, in that Dizzy Rascal set, I have the Air Max 90. This is one of my favorite Air Max 90s. This thing is awesome. It has the Dirty Stank records on the bottom. Do these, the homegrown Air Max 90. Everybody knows about that one, but not everybody is completely aware of the orange one. That's the Hyperstrike one that they did for State Magazine, which says on the tongue. This is some of my favorite stuff that I own also. The Black Cause Current. I love the Current sole on stuff. That sole is incredible. I have one other shoe I'll show that has that. And then we have the White Cause Air Max 90, which is a dirt magnet. I've worn that maybe twice and it gets super dirty. And to round out that set, we have the Air Force One. I picked these up recently after looking for them for a long time, and then after I bought them, everybody started wanting to sell them for cheaper. So Mad Hectic. I picked these up recently for like 180 bucks. Air Max 95s. I don't have a lot of these because I don't like the way they look on my foot, but I got these 2 for a pretty good price. These are not wearable, they've all blown out, but this is the Monster Air Max 95 from 01. That's the green one, and I have the white one here. I don't know how wearable this one is. It hasn't blown up yet, but it's pretty soft. Bacon's. This is one of my favorites. I love bacon, and bacon on shoes on an Air Max 90 makes a lot of sense to me. These Powerwall 180s. And then this is like top 3 180s of all time. The Opium. The leather on this is some of the best leather I've ever felt on sneakers, period. This is the other shoe I have with the Current sole. I made these with the recent options. Obviously purple, and I just chose zebra just because. But it has the Current Air Max 90 sole, which is awesome to me. The Hurley Free, something random like that. If you haven't noticed, everything that has, like, if it comes in a set, I want the whole set. So I have I had these first, the Hurley Air Max 90, so I had to get the free.
JD, what's the first set you ever collected?
Well, I guess I had the City Series, but like I said, I got rid of those. The Cause set is complete as far as Nike stuff goes. Dizzy Rascal, I'm missing the Air Force One. I'm missing 3 Soulbox 1500s and 2, now 3 shoes that I'm missing out of the Eminem set that we'll get to, but these that people like to see. That was the first big purchase I ever made, and it just kind of went downhill from there for me. I have kind of a grudge with Concepts because I think their New Balances are all trash, honestly. I don't really care for any of them, but this is probably the best thing they ever did. I have the blue one in here. I don't have the yellow one because I don't want to pay for it, but that's another story. As far as cool dunks that I kept, this is one that I will not get rid of. Deftones. And people say wear your shoes. Like, I don't just wear my shoes. I really wear my shoes. I walked from Times Square to the Brooklyn Bridge and back in these when I was in New York. I've walked all around downtown Dallas in these. Like, I'm not really kind to my shoes, honestly. Like, if I see a soccer ball, I'm gonna start kicking it no matter what I'm wearing. See, beat up white Supremes, black Supremes. There's just a few SBs I have left. Chocolates, also beat up. The Haze Dunk Low, the Hyper Strike one with the haze on the tongue. This one's really cool. I forgot I had this. This is a Michael Vick Air Force One, but it's not like the high or the blue one or the mid black one. Has his logo there. It says Vick on the back, and on the front it has that. I mean, it's pretty plain, but this is like a sample PE thing they did for Vick. All day from the ATF crew said there's 24 of them, so I'm gonna hold them to that. I was really into baseball when I was younger, and Ken Griffey Jr. was always my favorite, and this shoe was the one that got me into collecting, the Air Max Griffey 8, and I found a low in the gray color. I want to get all the colors of that one. There's a white one, a white and red, and a black and white one that I'm still looking for, but I'm pretty patient with those. I paid $13 for that one. These are cool too, as far as the Cause stuff, the Cause Simpsons they did for the movie. Because I am still a child, pretty much, I love SpongeBob, so I bought the SpongeBob Vape Roadster. The LaDainian Tomlinson Air Force One when he was with the Chargers. Mark Smith Air Force One. This is not the crazy limited one, there's a lot more of these. This was in my top 5 releases of last year. The Puma Suede and the Tricks colorway they did for the World Cup. I just think it's cool that they incorporated the whole thing from the World Cup, and as you can see, I beat these up too. Like I said, I play soccer, and my buddy Jake from Dank Customs helped me customize a lot of my cleats. So pretty much all my cleats, which is a lot now, have my initials on them or something like this. And this is currently my favorite pair to play in, so good job Adidas. Have the Spanish flag and the Colombian flags. My dad's from Spain, my mom's from Colombia, so I try to incorporate that into a lot of stuff.
And you also have some exclusive cleats up here as well, right?
I do. I'll reach a few of those. This is one that I think a lot more people, and I think Nice Kicks actually posted it on their website, the Francesco Totti Tiempo Legend 5. These are limited to 3,000. I have 394, and as you can see, I wear all my cleats too, and I'm really rough on them, so they're all starting to separate and tear apart on me. I won't bother showing the rest of them, but there's a few in there that are like, the top 2 Puma ones are like player samples that they made and released to the public. They were one of 400 each. This is a custom made to look like the 2006 Predators that Zidane wore in the World Cup. Zidane's my favorite player. And then I have a game-worn pair from one of the guys that was the captain of the Spanish national team. Some of the runners here that I wear a lot. As far as Asics, I'm not really huge into Ronnie Fieg or however you say that. I think a lot of his collaborations have gotten lazy and I'm not really a fan of them, but this is probably my favorite one because it has purple. This is also, I think, one of the better Ronnie Fieg ones. The red Nice Kicks. I had the gray one, but I cleaned it with Jason Mark and they turned into like, not gray, they look like cardboard, so thank you Jason Mark for that. This is one of my favorite Asics also, the Pata Gel Saga. Awesome shoe, no complaints here. Pata does good on pretty much everything. This was another of my favorite releases from last year. Soulbox EQT. Soulbox pretty much can do no wrong in any of their collaborations, and we'll get to that in a minute. The Pink Devil, Saucony, and yeah, the Gray Devil. I got both of those like almost a week early when they came out because I had recently bought something from the owner of Soulbox, who is like the nicest person in the world. So Hikmet, if you ever see this, thank you again. Getting into more Soulbox, this is a pre-Purple Devil 575, and I have been confirmed that this is a 1 of 1. Like I said, purple is my favorite color. Purple Devil 576. I know Greg Street showed it, but he didn't show all 3 of them. He showed the 1500 and the 576, but I have the 575 also. Oh, and my 1500 is a little bit different. I have a sample 1500 to where you can see the materials are all different. This is supposed to be leather, not suede, and a few differences like that. The bottom's different, the midsole's different. This variation, I was also told, is a 1 of 1. How accurate that is, I'm not entirely sure, but here's another thing that Greg Street showed you guys one of. Yeah, he showed you guys that one. The Soulbox collaboration with Being Hunted. That's the civilian one, and there's a military one that he did not show, which is that one. Those were both limited to 60 pairs each.
Next to Soulbox, what's the retailer that makes the best collabs?
24 Kilates in Barcelona. I showed both of their samples. I have a couple of their Sauconys, and I didn't show the Saga, but I have the big wooden box that came with the Saga, and like the wine bottle and all that stuff. Getting into the 1500s, which is my favorite part of my New Balance collection. This is a collaboration with, I don't know how to pronounce it because it's French, but Réseau. This was limited to, I think, 84 pairs. Sneakers and stuff, 1500. This is probably one of my favorite 1500s. It's a collaboration with Soulbox and Crooked Tongues that they released for their like trade show in Europe called Bread and Butter. These are limited to 50. This is another top 5 1500, the purple Colette. This is the first one they did. That's the red one. As you can see, I got them all dirty. This is the second Colette one, which is pink and carbon fiber. This is an amazing shoe. You see them go for a lot of money now. I think I paid like $220. This is a good one. And I wore these to Kick and Roll actually. The Provider 1500. This is a store in Australia that did like one good collaboration and then fizzled out. And like I said, 24 Kilates does a lot of good work. This is their 1500. It's all mismatched colors, if you can see, like all the colors are placed in different places. The inspiration they took on these is actually the same one they took on that Barcelona Jordan 7, the Miro. And Nice Kicks put out a list of the top like 50 or 25 New Balance collaborations of all time, like a few years back. Whoever made that list needs to be fired. No, I believe you, but that list had a lot of errors. Like I said, anything Concepts does not belong on there. Everybody that wants to pay crazy money for the Kennedy, have at it. Spend your money unwisely, but this is one you guys got right and put it at number 1. The Soulbox 1500, the Nazarai, and that's called that because it has an eyeball on that one. The toothpaste Soulbox, the orange one. I don't have the mint one, I'm still trying to find it with the toothbrush. And then the last 1500 I'll show you guys is the green Soulbox Finals. I'm still missing the maroon one. And I paid retail for these from a friend, so. Now to the Eminiem stuff, which is the stuff I'm most proud of. And I just want to get this one out of the way because this is the only one people care about. So this is Jordan 4. Everybody else has shown it, so I'll just show my pair, put it back in the box, and we can move on. We have, first of all, the pair I'm wearing, which is the Shady Burst. I have 2 of these. I'll show the other one at some point.
First of all, are you a fan of Eminem outside of sneakers?
Yes. As an artist, yes. I definitely think lyrically, he is a much better rapper than pretty much anybody. The words he uses and the way he puts them into a sentence are a lot more complicated than what most rhyme schemes involve. And we have the Air Max 1 from the charity set from 2006. This isn't the sample one because it doesn't have the lines on the midsole, and the eyelets are different colors, and this is a different color. So this is like a material test sample, I assume. And as you can see, I have trashed it because I wear my shoes and I wear them very proudly. These both belong to Dank Customs, but I want to show them. They're not customs, by the way. I know every time he posts something, people think it's a custom. It's not always a custom. These are actually released. The Shady Records Air Force 1 in black, which I have a size 6 of also. So there's 2 of them. I actually bought these from an employee of Shady Records. And then the Air Max 90. And I say I have the complete set of Eminem Air Max, but in reality, Jake owns one of them, but it's pretty much mine at the end of the day, which is this one, which you guys saw on his sneak peek. Which the funny thing he didn't mention, I wanted him to mention, is that this was right after Proof died. And so he signed Big Proof for life. But if you look closely, Eminem wrote Big Poof for life. So you misspelled his name, buddy. Have the white Air Force 1 Shady Records in my size. And then I have a size 6 also that I have just to have. I try to get as many doubles of everything as I can, just because I want them all. Here's another Shady Burst. which was the first collaboration Eminem did. I know a lot of people tend to just stick to the 4 and the 2, say they reunited those two. Try reuniting everything else. Also, if anybody out there wants to send me a pair of the new 4s, I'd be more than happy to receive it since I'd have pretty much everything else. The Air Max 360. And keep in mind, all these Air Maxes are limited to 8. They're all numbered on the inside, 1 of 8, and they're all signed by Eminem. So that's kind of cool. They're all part of that charity auction to raise money for the Marshall Mathers Foundation. Here's another 360 sign, the 180. This is my favorite one. This one was done for Shade 45, the radio station. And as you can see, it has Soulbox lasered on the sides. I bought these from Hikmet, the owner of Soulbox. And I'm forever thankful because this is my size and I have worn it. This one I don't want to trash, so. Here's the brand new Air Max 1 that is signed. The other one I showed wasn't signed, and you can see it has the lines on the midsole. This is red instead of white, and this is white instead of blue, which is how most of them look. This is the Air Max 95 out of that set, signed, done for Goliath. I'm not entirely sure what Goliath is, I just know Paul Rosenberg runs it. 97, done for Shady Records, also signed. Getting down to the last two. I'm gonna show this one first. And these I just bought in whatever size I could find because I know I wasn't gonna wear most of them, and they're kind of hard to find since a lot of the people that have them aren't even into sneakers. They just donated to the charity and got the sneakers in return. But that's the 2003. This is one I really, really want in my size. I love this shoe, but I have a 13 and I'm not letting it go. And finally, I believe finally, we have the Air Max 93, done for D12, and it has D12 stitched on the toe right there. And that's the cooler one. He signed Mr. Marshall Mathers, which is cool. That's the entirety of the charity set from 2006 that Eminem did. Minus the Jordan 2, the Encore Air Force 1, which is the same color as the black Shady Records. It's the same color as this, it just says Encore on the back and has a backwards E. Minus those two and the newly announced black Jordan 4, that's everything Eminem has put on a Nike shoe. I am very proud of that and I want to complete it. Nobody wants to sell me a 2 for a decent price, and I'm trying to get the Encore from Greg Street, so Greg Street, if you watch it, please work something out with me. And the new Jordan 4 I'm not counting on getting, but if anybody, again, sees this and wants to send me a pair, I would be more than happy. I'll pay the shipping too.
Next to the Eminem collection, what's the next collection you'd like to complete?
The Dizzy Rascal. I know where the Air Force 1 is in my size, and I know he's willing to work a deal with me. I just need to come up with the money because it's not a cheap shoe. But that's it. And then, like I said, I'm missing 3 of the Soulbox 1500, so at some point I'd like to finish that, but I'm not really in a rush to find those yet. I want to make a few other bespokes. I have one for myself and one for my dog. I want to make one for my dad, my mom, and my brother. So at some point I'd like to get all that done. I'd like to finish this set, which is, I'm missing 2 of that Confederation of Villainy, but finding those is like needle in a haystack kind of thing. Those don't ever pop up.
Well, JD, thank you for letting us come in and raid your collection. I think you have one of the most varied collections we've ever seen on Sneak Peek yet.
Like to show people something different. And I know I came off a little cocky with the numbers and but I think that is kind of what a lot of people are attracted to nowadays. I don't really go around telling people like, yeah, my shoe's limited to this, or, you know, when you see me post on Instagram, which isn't really that often anymore, like, I'm not like, look what I got kind of thing. Like, I try to either just show what I'm wearing or tell people that there's stuff beyond LeBron PEs and Jordans and, you know, all the hype stuff that you see everywhere else.